What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday morning, Thursday, June 4th to all of you. Thank you for watching the Morning Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Coming off a successful night, a much-needed successful night, 8-3 in MLB. Unfortunately, we didn't cash the Mercury minus 5.5, so our run in WNBA slows down a little bit. But we have a great card, a beautiful card, screaming for action. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got Kristen Hess in the house. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day in business. Let's get this all copied and pasted so we can discuss it throughout the show. It's not going to be too long of a show, too. 9 games in MLB. We're not going to have to rush through things too quickly. Tonight's show will be a little bit more of a rush. I got to get to the airport after the show. We'll be back in the home studio in Toronto for tomorrow morning show, flying out on the red eye this evening. Pig Milk play today. Yankees and Braves run line parlay here at plus 350 from Billy Friedrich. Pig Milk play the night number 2. Vegas puck line and Barbashev 1-point parlay. The Carolina Hurricanes season ticket holder fading his squad here. Billy says, I think game 2 is another close 1-goal game. I'm very concerned about the size of Vegas and their veteran leadership. Their poise has been very, very, very impressive throughout this run. Also, ice quality will keep him off the under 5.5. We got the nuke worker in the house. Gamma Ray play today is the Montreal Alouettes, and I'm right there with them. And it's few and far in between Alouette backers. I was talking about it on the show last night on CFL.ca. The 4 of the 5 experts are on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The 2 articles I read, both are on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And I disagree. I'm right with the nuke worker there. Stacks play day 1 and 2. 1 Harper over 1.5 bases plus 123 going up against Lucas Giolito. Stacks play day number 2. The Fever team total over 87.5. I expect to bet the Fever here. It's a little trickier. I've always found it easier for the East Coast comics. Sorry, I still went back to my old life. The East Coast Cappers, because of the 3-hour advantage. It's when you wake up at 5:30 or 5 out here, you still only have an hour and a half or so before the show, and you wake up at 5:30 out east, you're up 4.5 hours before the show, and you really have time to cement your feelings and your angles. So it's a little more different for the West Coast Cappers, and I've said that for the 10 years I've been doing this publicly. But I'm ready to rock and roll with you guys. We got Josh Witt in the house that says that's to go to work, but we'll see you tonight. Much love to you. Light Cheese ready to get to work. Curtis Berry got the A's money line. I'm on the A's first 5. All my action as well is from 365. I'm excited to get back to Penny when I get back to Ontario. Dougie Wise in the morning. Dougie Wise off a monster day. 462 for life. Fading him Imanaga today. Got Athletics plus 114. I'm fading him Imanaga as well, but I'm just using it in the first 5. Now, you guys have a better risk reward. My first 5 was very expensive, but again, it's something that we talk about, wanting things to be expensive, wanting the idea that the books are kind of trying to price you off of a situation, which is that sentiment here. Freebands play of the day is Phillies -1 at -140 here from Dougie Wise. I'm on that same bet. Phillies -1. It feels like we have a huge advantage with Wheeler over Giolito, especially Wheeler coming off that tough performance at Chavez Ravine where he allowed 4 solo shots. Ronnie Lofton in the house. Big Fat Paulie ready to get to work. We got Swiggy on the 1s and 2s. Swiggy, thank you. You'll see the graphics coming up throughout the show, and that's all the work of our friend Swiggy working now down, and that's Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas. Just my 2 cents in the house. And, man, he was extremely right about his Vegas Golden Knights, man. Seeing that hockey team very clearly. I was on the wrong end of that, and I still haven't bet tonight's game, but I'm very close to moving on it. Look at that chosen one. A's first 5 plus a half at -120. That's a nice line. That's a really nice line on the first 5 plus a half. Excellent work. Slatsy's on the Alouettes. Also the Ticats over in the Stamps plus 1.5. I still have more work to do on the other games, but I'm opening up with the Alouettes. First half and full game, both on the money line. Looking forward to watch game 1 of the CFL season here. Goon Collector said, I told y'all, don't fade my Knicks. This is my team's year. They sure look poised. It feels like they've been here before, even though we know that they haven't been to the championship before this group, but it feels like they're battle tested. And Brunson just looks like a man in complete control. Those couple of those injuries were tough, and we know that's where the Knicks can fall off. If any team is vulnerable to injuries, it is the New York Knicks. It is the New York Knicks. But it's exciting to watch this series develop. And I should have middled more than that 2K on the plus 1.5 games. We'll see how the series goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We know that. 462, you are very kind, says, love to meet you in person one day. Yes, 462 for life. That's one of the big things that we do here at Pub is we have meetups. You know, we want to make this real. Not that it's not real when we're capping, but there's something different when you break bread with somebody. That connection changes. And you know, for my life, it's you guys that are my closest friends. You know, my friends from growing up, they've really taken a back seat to the guys I cap with every day. And I'm okay with that, man. I'm very happy with that. Ken Mizrahi in the house, series business. Yes, Big Mastro feeling very good about his New York Knicks. Much deserved, my friend. Hino Ball, Jose Perez. And TC, we need to know this, says, I want Vegas tonight, but this is a must-win for the Canes. If they go down 0-2, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're absolutely right. Big Master says, I'm at work in the office tuning in for just a minute. Hope everyone wins today. Much love to you, Big Mastro, my man. Come to us from Windsor, Ontario, right across the Detroit River from Detroit City, Michigan. Robert Franklin says, might be back on the nights tonight. Want to see if I can get a better number. And look at that. Cashman says, can't wait to go to the spa Friday, Saturday for Belmont. Jealous, Cashman. 9 Legacy flank steak play of the day is in. Red Sox run line, Golden Knights money line, Valkyries money line. Valkyries money line, Blue Jays money line, Twinkies money line, and Montreal minus 2.5. I hope that line is moving towards the Owls because, as I said, everybody that I'm reading is on the Ticats here. Goon Collector says, I didn't know you put 2K on the Spurs. No, I did not, Goon Collector. I have $500 on the Spurs at 33-1 from December 9th. So I put 2K on the Knicks plus 1.5 games as a middle. I'm in business. Well, look, I shouldn't say that because, you know, picking up 1,600 minus the 500 bet on the Spurs 1,100 is not business. But picking up 15K on the Spurs winning the chip is business, and then having the Spurs win in 7 games and taking it all is great business. I did not put 2K on the Spurs. That's not a risk reward. I'm looking at what, a minus 210. Come on, man. 4th and 1 Entertainment says Brown out coach Mitch, which is why Mitch playing Barnes straight trash, says 4th and 1 Entertainment. Look, we broke it down the whole series and why there was a very enormous concern from what we'd seen in the 3 games these teams have played against each other. We broke it down statistically exactly why there was an enormous concern with, you know, the high zone, the one-man zone that Wemby was playing, you know, the 125 points per 100 possessions efficiency the Knicks had against the Spurs in the regular season and the NBA Cup. That's 13 more points per 100 possessions than the Spurs average they allow. That Mitch Johnson was going to have to change, and hopefully Pop would help. They were going to have to do something different because if you have, you know, Castle and Vassell on Cat or on Biggs, you're going to lose the board battle. And the Spurs are number 1 defensive rebounding team in the NBA unless they're playing the New York Knicks. And then we talked about who was the team that had a higher efficiency against the Spurs, and it was the Denver Nuggets. And what did the Nuggets do to the Spurs? So there's concerns. There's no doubt about there being concerns here. WY says, took a unit on the Spurs plus 115 series price last night, even though he's got the 400 plus 400 ticket on Spurs chip. Knicks getting plus 6. Yeah, I saw that, Dewan, when we started it up. We got Bravos from Nate Cerna. Bravos minus 1.5 here. Von Polo in the house. Nate Cerna, great to see all of you guys. Super true story. Great to see you, man. Great to see you, buddy. Lychees, all of you guys. And Lychee saying his brother's at the spa training track. Just ran into Jason Worth. Oh, I had Jason Worth. He's a beast in the horse racing game. Well, it's great to see all of you guys. Mark A. Cash Spurs first quarter, first half in the under 112.5. A San Antonio fan didn't bet a side. We'll bet on the -6 game 2. I'm interested on the -6 game 2. I'm interested, but as I told you from the get-go, I'm in a spot where I can only make money, and I really don't want to mess with it. So I really have to be moved to make a bet. It's possible, and we're talking a unit, and my unit sizes in NBA aren't as big as NHL. They're just $250. It is somewhat tricky to make a $250 bet when you have the thousands that are hopefully waiting for us. So I made, and then, it was a funny, I talked about it last night about how you want to come to a show with all this action because it makes the show better. Makes things better, makes things more exciting. And, Goracle sent me a message on the topic as well. The important thing is our bankrolls. Nothing's more important. Nothing more important. Now, we want good content as well. Good content is when someone comes in and says, I like this and I want this and this is my action. And in the NBA Finals, I'm in a wonderful spot. And so, all right, let's get to work. Thank you guys for joining us. We've got the morning bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A big day here for us at Pub. Let's get right to work here. Game 1 on the board is the free bands play of the day from Dougie Wise. I've also doubled down on this spot. Phillies first 5 -0.5 at -135 and Phillies -1 at -126. Let's get right into business here. San Diego Padres, Philadelphia Phillies, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get into Ballpark Pal. This is all refreshed so we can get the latest information. Plus 5% runs, plus 9% homers, -4% doubles and triples, and plus 2% singles. Got a message from TJ, thinking about moving on the first 3 under 2.5. And the problem is Lucas Giolito. It's always sweaty watching him try to get out. It's 4.97 ERA, 1.74 WHIP, 5.04 xERA. He's only thrown 12 2/3 in the show this year, and he's walked 12 batters in those 12 2/3. Only struck out 6. Very, very difficult to be trusted. Zach Wheeler is the man. His velocity has dropped, and he's been spectacular until he ran into the Dodgers, who hit him for 4 solo shots. Feels like it's a great bounce back opportunity for Zach Wheeler. 2.27 ERA, 0.85 WHIP. He's got a 3.18 xERA. His numbers were much prettier before, allowing 4 runs over those 4 innings. Kristen Hess says, let's have a day. And we have Stacks play today as well. You're absolutely right. Stacks play today as well. And Chris Warren 7-1 yesterday. I'd love to see it. Stacks play today as well as Dougie Wise. So we have Stacks and free bands here in this one. And shout out to Trevor in the house. We got TV Jones rocking with us, making us stronger. It's great to see you here. So let's talk here. First, shout out to our guy Stacks play of the day in business. Let me just move over to our so I'm gonna need sorry. There we go. The swinging on the 1s and 2s, fixing up my mistakes. Shout out to Justin McKelvey. Stacks play today in business here, and it is Harper over 1.5 bases plus 123. Stacks. Got the shotgun play today as well, which we will be discussing throughout. It is the Yankees shotgun play today, undefeated. Nate Cerna was thinking Nerfy here in this one. Again, look, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it, but watching Giolito out there, it's not going to be comfortable. You're not going to be sitting back with your feet up watching Giolito try to get out. Both bullpens have been excellent. Neither team's hitting righties at all. Look at these bullpens, though. Yes, there have been some hiccups over the last 5 games, but overall, very strong. Padres bullpen, 1.98 ERA, 1.10 WHIP over the last 30 days. Phillies bullpen, 3.11 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. Justin McKelvey has the Phillies -1.5 at plus 102. And as I told you guys, I do have some interest in this full game under. There are problems. The best arms, as TJ pointed out when I mentioned the full game under, we knew it would go from 8 to 8.5. Which is what it's done now. It's juiced to the over 8.5, which is a lot. Now it's only juiced to the over 8.5 at Bet Online. Oh, it's come back. Sorry, it's come back 4 cents. It came back 29 minutes ago. These teams aren't hitting right-handed pitching, as you see, at all. Like, at all. These teams, these bats are just, it's silent night. And then we have this huge move towards the Phillies to minus 196 from minus 170. When I got that -1 and minus 126, I got the minus 175 on the money line. So we did, beat that quite comfortably. When you get to the cash flow here in this spot, you have 68% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Padres. That's astonishing to me. I guess I kind of respect it. Taking a dog, the public on the. I mean, we all know what happens to public road dogs in our industry. They lose. But 64% of tickets on the under, 53% of cash on the over. The books, trusting these overs. And TV Jones says Wheeler same price as Sanchez, no Duran or Keller. That's a fair argument, but my reply to that, and let me just pull up Wednesday, January 3rd. Here we go. My reply to that is, come on. I guess that's fair. I was going to say that, Walker Buehler over Giolito, which I would still say. I think that you're right, that there's a smaller gap, let's say a very small gap between Buehler and Giolito, but Buehler is better. But I would say that comes into the price, is that Giolito has pitched 12 2/3 and he's walked 12 batters. And he struck out 6. He has the worst K to walk ratio by far in Major League Baseball. Now it's only 12 2/3, but I hear what you're saying. Deacon Mike in the house says, I like the new background. It's not the new background. I am at the parents' house in Victoria, British Columbia. I will be back in my studio for tomorrow morning, taking the red eye home. Marsh RBI at plus 170 here for Justin McKelvey. So let's roll on here. I think it's absolutely fair, what Trevor is saying about how this price, should Wheeler be priced the same as Sanchez? And then the argument would be, well, it's Lucas Giolito is a big part of the price. So I'm comfortable with where I stand. I think it's fair to like the first 5 minus a half better than the full game -1. Why don't we just quickly take a look at the price difference? And I know we started a little bit long with the intro here, so we got to make moves. But let's just take a look at the price difference here over at Pinnacle, of which I can't sign in on. We have the Phillies -200. So it's a big move towards them. And this first half is -244. Look at that. Good God. First 5 minus half is -158. I got -135 at Bet365 last night. Wow. Well, that makes me feel very good. We have a total over 8, which means, Troy is not here. And shout out to our guy, Troy. He will be hosting here this evening, the closing line show. But if Troy was here, I know what he would tell us. He'd tell us that the Philadelphia Phillies are... Chris Warren says the Phillies look mispriced here, but he stayed off the game. If this doesn't work out, it has to be based upon the Phillies' best arms of the bullpen not being around and them falling apart late, is the way I see it. But we'll see. I'm not going to add that under 8.5. I'm very comfortable, really, with where I stand here. Rolling with the free bands play of the day. Look at that. I mean, it's rare that the first 5 moves that much. -158. Also, I got it at square-ass book, Bet365. Shout out to Markel in the house. And yes, Swiggy, let's not get into the brown cow discussions here today. All right, so 2 bets in, 1 game in. Let's roll on. Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox, next spot on the board. We're at Fenway Park in Beantown. Let's take a look at the weather here in Fenway, and it is offensive. It's as offensive as we've seen all year, really. Plus 19% runs, plus 5% homers, plus 32% doubles and triples for you cappers that focus on player props, plus 32% doubles and triples in this game. The second highest spot for doubles and triples is at Chase Field with the roof closed, and that's at 11%. So nothing's even close to it on today's MLB board. TV Jones has one of fire Baltimore. It's Bayo Day without an opener too. It's funny. We had an interesting discussion with these two pitchers, Trevor Rogers and Brian Bayo. I mean, it's so interesting the difference a year makes. With the graphics up, let's touch on these bullpens. Red Sox bullpens being very, very good. I mean, the last 5 games, insane. But all month, exceptional. 2.62 ERA, 1.09 whip. The Orioles bullpen is a problem. There's no getting around that. 5.33 ERA, 1.47 whip. Look, we also talked last night. We don't have time to ruminate as much as we did last night on some of these situations. But, God, I mean, was I the only one that thought Gunnar and Rutschman and Holiday were going to turn this team into an absolute powerhouse? I mean, it's astonishing that they're just not delivering. And then we take a look at the offenses of these two teams. Orioles versus righties, 265, 777 OPS last 30 days. They're hitting them hard. But, man, are the Red Sox raking lefties, 300, 828 OPS. So let's take a look at the line history. We know we have very offensive weather. We have 2 pitchers that are considered gas cans. I don't consider them gas cans. Honestly, with the advantage that the Red Sox have in the bullpen, combined with the way the Red Sox are hitting lefties, I can look past Bayo's numbers, and we'll get into Bayo here and back them, but I'm not going to go up against the line move like this. I'm not going to, sit here and say, oh, the books are wrong. This line move is wrong. Plus 113 was the opening line for the Orioles. Now it's plus 101, a 12-cent move. When we were here last night, it was a 7-cent move, so it's becoming even bigger. From a total standpoint, we have a 10. It's now a 10.5. I mean, that's all pretty explainable. And then when we get into the cash flow here, I'm very interested to see what we're going to get. 60% of the ticket, 65% of cash on Boston, which should make Baltimore more appealing. 90% of tickets on the over and 63% of the cash. So there are some big bets coming in on the under. Justin McKelvey got a great line there with the over 10 at minus 112. Says Bayo gets sparked when he doesn't have an opener. Says ask my Braves. I don't think that we should. Now we're at 56 innings for Bayo. So we're 1/3 of the way through the season. And I really think we should let some of these pitchers that are high on talent tell their story more. I think one of the things that I've noticed here is that people are just making these calls on these pitchers where I don't know if the sample size is legitimate enough here. So TV Jones says, he says, I know Rogers is ass, but Bayo is too, and I trust Baltimore's offense more than Boston. I get that, but against lefties, I think I would lean towards Boston. And again, I have a problem here. I'm a Trevor Rogers fan. I have always been. And last year, I felt like, see, I told you, and that went away this year. But last year, the 1.81 ERA and the 0.90 whip, and it's not out of a short period of time. We're talking 109 2/3. When it's said and done, you can find an angle in this baseball game that you believe in. Whether it be an over, whether it be thinking, oh, I got the Red Sox at home. Now, the public is on the Red Sox, which is a concern, but you could say, oh, I've got the Red Sox at home. I got the bullpen advantage, and I got this team raking lefties. Or you could say, look, I'm on the sharp side of things. The line's moving towards the Orioles with the public on the Red Sox. I can fade Bayo here. And, look, I think that I can make a legitimate argument for all these sides. And TV Jones says, look at Bayo with and without openers this season. Elite with an opener, batting practice pitcher without an opener. I hear you. This is not something that's existed in his career. He's been a starter. So, and then I also, and you guys will know that when you cap with me, I have a tendency of backing a pitcher and believing in these pitchers rather than, and it's probably cost me money. So, look, I agree with all of these sentiments. I'm not against any of them. Billy Friedrich on the first 5, over 5.5 for Billy. Let's roll on. And Chris Warren going to back Gunnar over 1 out bases. What the God? I was going over Gunner's numbers. I was like, I thought you were going to be the best shortstop in baseball. It's just hard to break this all down. What's Gunnar and Rutschman and Holiday? There's not Flush Allen in the house. Good morning, my friend. So let's roll on. And you're right, Justin. I don't know why. I feel like I'm a cutthroat gambler in most situations. And then I've got this thing for pitchers that I wasn't a pitcher. What do I care about pitchers? This should be Dabby Cab, and Dabby Cab will, destroy pitchers he doesn't believe in. All right, let's roll on. Next spot, so nothing for me there. We have Guardians, New York Yankees, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and we have plays of the day here on this one. Let's start out with our guy shotgun play of the day from Ronnie Crawford, 2-0 right now. It's the Yankees from Mr. Ron Crawford. Then we have the first leg of Pig Milk play of the day, numero uno. Yankees Braves run line parlay at plus 350. We got a plus 350 Pig Milk play of the day. That's so funny. Remo says, "Where's the baseball?" It's in bed. I brought the baseball in bed with me, and I didn't bring it out. Wasn't getting, kinky with the baseball. I've taken that baseball everywhere. You're right. Where is the baseball? Where the hell is the baseball, Rem? Nutflush says, thanks for the look on Urena. Put him over 4.5 Ks and Lorenzo over 5.5 hits. Smack a nice parlay. I'd love to hear that. Markel says, anyone catch the Astros live last night down 3 in the 8th? I did not. The baseball is in bed. I should get it. But it's not like I had a good a Monday, Tuesday here. I had an okay Monday, a bad Tuesday. MLB wasn't the one that was hurting me. It was getting crushed in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And a good Wednesday. So, I mean, I know it's not the baseball that's done it for me, I think. But you're right. I'll have it back for the night show, right, man? Okay, let's roll here. I moved on the Yankees' first 5 minus a half, and I wouldn't mind having more on this game. I decided last night that I didn't want to have both the -1 and the first 5 minus half, that I didn't want to have oh no, Rem, no. I didn't want to double up on the spot. As you guys know, I am a Slade Ciccone believer. I also think that Carlos Rodon is bet on immediately. The Guardians are hitting lefties, 245, 709 OPS. It's not horrible what they're doing to lefties. It's okay. And then we have the Yankees not hitting righties very hard, 231, 712 OPS. And looking at the graphics here, you can see that the Guardians are starting to hit lefties harder than they had been. We got a double up spot for Justin McKelvey though, and Swiggy says another cash cow spot. Well, let's review the line history because it may just be. So let's start with the weather here in the Bronx. We have run suppressing weather, -8% runs, +3% homers, -16% doubles and triples, and -8% singles. We have 2 bullpens that have been getting hit in this series. But 2 bullpens that we believe in that haven't been that good of late. Guardians bullpen 3.23. Well, no, they've been good. 3.23 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. The Yankees bullpen 3.75 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. TV Jones on the Guardians +145. So we have a Guardians backer, and that's the first we've seen. A ton of love here on the Yankees and TV Jones on the other side. Dougie White says Guardians have the best bullpen in baseball over the last 2 weeks. I don't have those. I don't have those stats, and I didn't know that was the case. I would like to see that with my own eyes. So I'm going to pull that up right now so let's go. So it's the 4th of June here. So we'll go 6, 4, and then we'll go what from the 21st of May. All right. And the Guardians aren't close to having the best bullpen. A 3.33 ERA with a now they have the highest K per 9 innings, but a 3.33 ERA with a 1.24 WHIP. I mean, in comparison, you have the Braves with a 2.23 ERA and a 0.95 WHIP. I mean, you have some really strong bullpens. FIP, XFIP, whatever. I mean, the Cleveland's bullpen over the last 2 weeks has been average, completely average. But let's get back to business here. Slade Ciccone, 3-5, 5.25 ERA, 4.61 xERA. I'm on Fangraphs right now. Dougie Wise, I'm on it right now. 4.61 last 15 games. I mean, is that going to be different than the last 15 days? Look, I don't know what else to tell you. They've been average. 5.25 ERA, 4.61 xERA, 1.49 WHIP. For Slade Ciccone. Slade Ciccone on May 29th, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks, and a 4-3 win at home over the Red Sox. Slade's been okay. He's just been okay. Billy Friedrich saying Slade Ciccone's road ERA 5.74. And TV Jones says Yankees versus right-handed pitching something to behold. It's true. They're just not hitting righties even close to what they're doing against lefties. I mean, they're just below average. And now we have number 99 on in the lineup. Carlos Rodon is pitching at a high level and should be backed, I believe. But it's very fair what TV Jones is saying about their ability against right-handed stick. So let's get into the line history here. We have a 9 that's moved down to an 8.5. Like, I had the first 3 unders and the full game unders here as a possibility. I didn't make any additions after. I made 6 additions after the show last night, but I didn't make any this morning. I thought, it wouldn't hurt me just to talk all these things out. So I do have interest in unders. I do have interest in Slade Ciccone having an okay start here. But let's go over his road starts, though, because they've not been very good. The last road start was fine. It was at the Phillies. He went up against a Wheeler. He went up against Wheeler. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. But the Phillies aren't hitting righties at all, so maybe that's not anything the rest are had on. Start before that at the Tigers was a thing of beauty. May 18th, 7 1/3, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. It was very good. So at the Royals, so that's 3 good road starts in a row. It's if we go back from that, it's bad. Back to May 2nd, 5 earned runs over 5 1/3 at the A's. If we go to April 26th, 4 earned runs over 5 2/3 at the Blue Jays. 6 earned runs over 5 innings at the Astros. I mean, those were bad road starts, but he's had some good ones. He started the year poorly, allowing 6 earned runs in his first start versus the Mariners. So I think he should be fine here. We've moved from a 9 at a pick him to an 8.5 juice to the under. And then on the money line here, we have no movement towards the Yankees. None. No movement. Raven in the Desert in the house as my team won the AA Division Championship Little League Mountain Ridge. Look at that. Congratulations, Raven. Nice, man. Love to see that. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Over 10 on the Red Sox game and over 10 in the Cubs game for Raven in the Desert. Man, Raven, keep an eye out for this name, Raven in the Desert, because when it comes to college basketball, man, this guy can cook. So let's take a look at the cash flow and then move on here. We have 52% of the tickets on the Yankees and 71% of the cash on the Guardians. That's very interesting. 61% of tickets on the over, 73% cash on the over, and this continues to climb. And Turnbuckle Tommy back to the Phillies game says, I know Giolito's trash, but Phillies team total is 4.5. They're 0-10 to the over in their last 10, 4-16 to the over in the last 29. Wow. I get that, Tommy. We're not sure. They're not even sure the solution. It shouldn't be too long, but it's not going to be a short trip. Well, I'm interested in unders. Now, one of the problems here was that Mark Staszowski is on the over 8 with confidence, and that kind of slowed me down. So at this point, I have interest in the under. It's not changed. I have interest in the under. And why don't we just take we know that the Phillies bullpen is exhausted. Let's just do a quick bullpen usage here. Maybe I should just stick to Slade and Rodon, whom I like very much. So let's just take a quick look here on both of these bullpens. We'll start with the Guardians bullpen. They used some important arms yesterday. Gaddis. So Gaddis has gone back-to-back days. Holderman's gone back-to-back days. Herron's gone back-to-back days. Those are the only ones that have gone back-to-back days. And then Cade Smith pitched yesterday, but he hadn't gone in a while. So you have Armstrong, Smith, Vesta, Hewer, and Dion available, which isn't great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And then for the Yankees, they only had Tim Hill go back to back, so they should be ready to go. And Nutflush says, if you like the under, I would head to Cleveland team total under here. Okay, more time here. TV Jones said Cleveland never been big on resting bullpen arms. No, and they handle their bullpens are to be trusted at all times. I'm still interested in the unders. I don't want, as I said, I didn't want to have the 2 units on the Yankees. I wanted to pick between first 5 minus half and full game -1. I'm fine with this first 5 minus a half. And then the unders, I think I would lean towards a first 3 under. While we're here, and I know we got to make moves, but why don't we just take a look at the price for the first 3 under? We've done a nice job assessing out when a price makes sense. This is an 8.5 minus 115 to the under. So the first 3 under 2.5 should be at least minus 125 to the under. So let's see. The first 3, and I haven't looked. The first 3 under 2.5 is minus 120. So I also really have a belief that 365 puts them all at fair prices to begin with, and then lets the sharps change things. So that is an 8.5 minus 115 to the under. So is the Giolito Wheeler spot. So then we would assume that would be at the exact same number at minus 120 unless gamblers have moved it. And it is. So they're both at fair lines, basically. All right. That's enough there. Let's roll on. Turnbuckle Tommy says Goldschmidt, Rice, and Bellinger all have great numbers against the Saucony pitch mix. Let's roll on. We have 2:10 p.m. Eastern, Giants, Brewers. Well, look, we had a great cap on Logan Webb yesterday. I felt like a proud father watching him. 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs. Felt good. But we wake up and project bet the Brewers back in business. Brewers -1 at minus 133. I bet as soon as I woke up. I don't push for first 5s with the Brewers. Give me 9 innings to beat your baseball team with this baseball team. Adrian Hauser, 2-5, 5.59 ERA, 5.67 xERA, 1.56 WHIP. He's not very good. He looked really good at times last year, but he still gets passed around the league for a bag of baseballs. Look at the bullpen numbers for the Giants of late. This was once a trusted bullpen. They've been trash. Last 30 days, 5.25 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. Brewers bullpen has been excellent as always. 2.63 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. Justin McKelvey is the over 9.5 in his pocket because as bad as the Giants bullpen's been, they're hitting righties. 268, 783 OPS. It's all good, buddy. Don't worry, Dougie White. It's all good, man. We're just working together. As much info as possible, man. I got you always. Brewers versus righties, 265, 742 OPS. So both of these lineups versus righties are hitting. We expect the Brewers to do this all year. The Giants are just hot right now, and look at the trajectory. Lex Steele back stateside. Nice, man. Nice to have you back stateside, my man. So let's talk about Hauser, and let's talk a little bit about this. So one of the things that Nutflush Allen, the San Francisco Giants whisperer, and he hammered the Giants first 5 yesterday as well. And it was our birthday pick for Adam Beck. I hope he had a great 42nd birthday. This is the big note from Nutflush, is they've been so bad on the last game of road trips. And now they face the Brewers. Come on. Saturday, May 30th, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 2 walks, 8-3 loss at the Rockies. Now, look, Hauser's pitching in thin air. That's not easy. Start before that, another 4 2/3 start. He was on a run. He's a streaky pitcher. And he had 3 really good starts. You could add 4 to the April 30th start, but 3 really good starts, May 6th, May 12th, May 17th. Now he's come back. We thought Coleman Crow was going to pitch yesterday. I didn't have anybody listed at 365 when I made my bet, so I didn't need to rebet it, thankfully. But Coleman Crow, we expect to go here, and Coleman Crow is a real quality pitcher. Coleman Crow is a pitcher to be. Look, I really like kids that get drafted in the 28th round of high school and make the show this early. I mean, this is all on him. This is all his grind. We had Jose going over all of his plus pitches. He's got some nasty, nasty pitches. I like what we've seen through 3 appearances, and now he gets his first home start. Don't put that past him. I mean, he's had a pretty difficult situation. He's not had any continuity when he starts. Friday, April 17th, and he goes down to the minors. That was at the Marlins. Then May 15th, he gets another start a month later, and it's beautiful. 1 earned run over 5 innings. 3-2 win at the Twins. So he pitches in Miami, then he pitches in Minnesota, and then Friday, May 29th at Houston, and 2 earned runs over 4 innings. I mean, he's fun to watch. I'm looking forward to watch him cook. So let's take a look at the line history here. The Brewers are now minus 183, opened up at minus 165. What Swiggy was saying is the Yankees, another, cash cow. Would anybody be surprised? So what, this game pops off in 3.5 hours. Would anybody be surprised if this ends up at minus 200? Heritage has moved it to minus 192. I don't think anybody would be surprised there, and that could turn it into a cash cow because the total is certainly high enough. This total opened up at 9.5. It's now at 9. It's dropped a half run. Let's take a look at cash flow here. Cash flow. We have... Let's go. Here we go. We have 70% of the tickets on the Brewers and 68% of the cash on the Giants. That's very interesting. I guess they're trusting Hauser over Crow. 59% of tickets on the under and 75% of cash on the over. It's moved 20 cents at FanDuel. I'm comfortable with the spot. Now, Fletch Allen says the spike in hitting for the Giants is the young blood that's been called up. Eldridge, Susac, and Gilbert. Susac looks like a quality catcher. It says these guys are sparking the offense. Hino Ball says Brewers up being shut out. I trust the bounce back. Brewers first 5 team total over 2.5 and first 5 minus half. I like it. I like where I stand, and I don't feel the need to add to it. Brewers -1, keeping it clean, which is what I've done in game 2. This was one where, or not game 2, in our next game in Atlanta. I probably could have added the first 5 minus a half. We have a Fluharty as an opener here for the Jays, and then he's expected to roll into Chad Dallas, who will be making his Major League Baseball debut. Let's take a look at the situation here. First off, the Jays aren't hitting lefties at all. Now they have to deal with Chris Sale, 200, 635 OPS. Braves versus righties, 253, 736 OPS. The Jays also, right around the Mendoza line, but also no power at all against left-handed pitching. And part of that is Vladdy not having power right now. But hopefully that comes at some point. And then bullpen-wise, we have 2 really strong bullpens. The Braves bullpen's just been elite all season long. 2.78 ERA, 1.05 whip, while the Jays bullpen, 3.57 ERA, 1.25 whip. So I moved on the Braves, and I got the exact same number as I did on the Brewers. And look, these are square-ass plays, but I felt like I had the conviction to move on them. And I got the -1 at minus 133. So let's take a look. First off, this total has gone from 7 to 7.5. 7 was very low. Sure. I don't really like betting into those totals that go up against me. Truist Park is run suppressing today. -8% runs, -17% homers, -4% doubles and triples, and +2% singles. When we go into the money line, this is the part that I need. The Braves are -200 already. Wow, that's a big move. That was this morning. It was a 30-cent move. This thing wasn't moving, and then it moves to -200. And let's see the difference first 5 in full game here as well. Let's see this. So when we go over to the Braves spot here, we have the Braves at pinning at -201 full game. And first 5 are -208. Not a massive difference. You can get that first 5 minus half, -134. Might be worth betting. Land of the Tree, +140 parlay. Brewers money line, Phillies money line. It may make sense to me, Land of the Tree. Makes sense to me. We also have TC's play of the day. Let me get these both, all these copied and pasted under our plays of the day. Please share your plays of the day with us. Here we go. Mason Fluharty, yeah, but he'll just, how deep will Fluharty go? Well, we can look into that here in a second, but Fluharty won't go deep. Let's get this here. We got Lou Chase Fox in the house. Says Brew Crew, Dodgers again, Royals again, fade the Mets every game for the rest of eternity, says our guy Lou Chase Fox. TC's play of the day, Brewers, Braves, putting them together at +127. Brewers, Braves at +127. So I still think I could get to that first 5 minus a half. I don't believe it's like completely out of the price range. Why don't we just take a look at Fluharty's last few starts here, or opportunities to pitch? Because let's have it. We go there. So here we go. Let's go quickly through Fluharty's game log. I don't, and also I have no idea, and I'm not going to pretend to have any idea what this 4th round pick, Chad Dallas out of Tennessee, is going to do. Missed the entire 2025 with Tommy John, so he's not well known. Mason Fluharty, yeah, he's going to go an inning, so I don't even think we need to put too much into that. Yeah, and then Chad Dallas comes in, and maybe the pressure's off of him because he doesn't have to start. I guess is he listed as the primary? Let's just go to RotoWire quickly and see if he's listed as the primary. Here we go. RotoWire MLB lineups and see if he is the. I mean, it's worth the price of it. Yeah, Chad Dallas is the primary. That's gonna be fun. Okay. Luchace Fox says, I like Atlanta, but not laying minus 200. Jays are just not that bad. No, they're not. They're not that bad. No, I get that. I feel more comfortable now that total's gone from 7 to 7.5. I think I can add. So, I think I can add the Braves first 5 minus a half. Yeah, the Fluharty Chad Dallas combination, they're going to have to be spectacular, and they're going to have to cash the under. This total's gone from 7 to 7.5. So the books are telling us that the volatility is slowly increasing. So I think I add the Braves first 5 minus half. I'm already on the -1. Let's roll on. Next spot for us is Kansas City Royals, Minnesota Twins. We're at Target Field in Minnesota, and we have rain in the forecast. Now, RotoWire did not have this in red last night, and that was a surprise. They still don't have it in red. Oh, Mike Paredes is now the primary in this one. Well, they have moved the precipitation from 14 to 36, but when we went over the weather report last night, it looked like there was real rain in the forecast. So let's see. It's not raining now. It's not going to rain at 12. So light rain comes in at 3. And then the rain showers come in at night. I think it's going to be a problem here. By the way, Nutflush says on that final game on the road, the Giants are on a road series. Giants are 7 losses and 3 wins. And the wins include Oakland, Colorado, and Cincinnati. Wow. That's a great stat. Great stuff, Nutflush. Thank you for informing us of that. So the rain is an issue. We have Seth Lugo going up. We weren't sure what the hell was going to happen in this game. They had Andrew Morris, the 4th round pick out of Texas Tech, but we know that he can just go an inning or 2. So now we have a better sense of what the hell is happening here, with Mike Paredes. So let's get a look at Mike Paredes because I don't know much about him here. Let's get a quick look, and then we can discuss our thoughts here with Mike Paredes. Let's go to baseball reference here. So Paredes, 18th round pick in 2021, 25 years old. Let's see what he's done in the minors and in the show. So this is a guy that says he started many games. Yeah, he's starting in Wichita in AA and not pitching well. And he's also starting in AAA. So he's stretched out enough. He looked good in AAA. He looked terrible at Wichita AA. That's inexplicable, really. In AAA, 34 2/3, got a 1.13 whip. That's really strong numbers. He's only throwing 3 2/3 here in the show. Wine Time Sports in the house. Great to see you, Wine Time. And Luce says that Brewers win total is still like 85. Come on, is it still 85? I thought it was 84.5 preseason. Is it really still just 85? I got to go right now to this. A regular season wins. It's 92.5, Luchase. 92.5 is their win total right now. That's a big difference. So we have 2 bullpens that are pitching poorly. Royals bullpen 5.09 ERA, 1.67 whip. Reds bullpen 5.97 ERA, 1.50 whip. Oh, sorry, Reds. Sorry, Twins bullpen. I screwed that up last night. Seth Lugo is pitching very well, 3.55 ERA, 1.35 whips. Got a 4.96 xERA. The issue here is the rain. Do you want Lugo to get pulled during the start? I mean, RotoWire doesn't seem to think it's an issue. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot from a line history standpoint. Royals, Twins. We have a 7-cent move towards Lugo. I wonder if that's enough. From a total side of things here, we have a 10-cent move to the over, so there's implied volatility. A ballpark pal is sitting here with target field at plus 3% runs, plus 1% homers, plus 3% doubles and triples, and plus 1% singles. And then let's talk price difference first 5 in full game, and maybe that will be the deciding factor here. The Royals are minus 110 full game, very cheap. First 5 they're only minus 115. Does weather have anything to do with that? Shout out to our guy Old E in the house, my man. Great to see you. Look, I don't think I'm interested, honestly. If there was a bigger difference between the first 5 and the full game, I'm going to stay off the spot. Let's roll on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, our next spot on the board. It appears that JT Ginn will be starting, and there won't be an opener for him. There was an idea that there might be an opener, but Ginn's going to be in. Shota Imanaga has been horrific over the last little bit. Horrific here. And Luce says even the 92.5 is pretty cheap. It is juiced to the under. It's 92.5. I mean, they're playing at a spectacular. Look, TJ moved on before the year started, and I should have joined him. I just had them last year, and I had them last year in every which way, and I guess I was just a little disillusioned by getting swept by the Dodgers. But here we go. I am on the Athletics' first 5, and again, I don't have the ability to use Pinnacle out here, and so I'm getting way worse lines on the first 5. Let's see what the line is now here. The A's are plus 121 full game. I'm sure that even if the first 5 is anywhere under plus 110, I would think that's the right difference. And it's not. It's plus 119. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Wow. What a bath I took. That kind of just makes me sick to my stomach. Shota Imanaga is being terrible. And the A's hit lefties pretty hard. 254, 741 OPS last 30. Cubbies versus righties, 223, 699 OPS. A's bullpen is okay. The Cubs bullpen's been very good. 2.94 ERA, 1.23 whip. We have JT Ginn, who's been so good this year. I was wrong about him. I mean, I was kind of giving credit to the brass. I wasn't using him as a starting pitcher out of the last 2 spring trainings. But he's been excellent. That start on May 18th was an absolute thing of beauty. 2-1 loss at the Angels, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, 8 innings. Now, he threw 105 pitches, so he came back in his next start. He walked 6 batters, and they pulled him early. But then he bounced right back at home over the Yankees. 6 innings, didn't allow an earned run, 4 Ks, 3 walks. I mean, Shota Imanaga is getting absolutely annihilated. But why is the price not different? Look at what Shota Imanaga has done his last 3 starts, man. I mean, it's just horrific. 15 2/3. He's allowed 20 earned runs. He's allowed 8 home runs. 12 strikeouts, 5 walks. They're saying that's going to change here. If this was one of those bets for sure, without a doubt. This is one of those bets where if we were doing our old style of capping, where we took 3 hours to cap the MLB card, and we waited for the market to marinate for 18 and 24 hours before we moved, there's 0 chance I would be on the A's now. 0 chance. Deacon says we'll be betting a home run prop right before game time if the wind is still ripping out. Shota's given up 10 home runs in May and 8 in his last 3 starts. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Ballpark Pal has Wrigley offensive today, plus 15% runs. And listen to this, home runs, plus 34% home runs. Plus 34%, minus 1% doubles, minus 1% singles, but home runs. Deacon, this is your type of game. Matty Ice in the house. Great call, Matty Ice. Taint play of the day, cashing yesterday with ease. Braves on the run line. Our guy Matty Ice doing taint type things, getting us paid in full. Well, I'm on the A's first 5, and I would buy out of it if I could. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not going to. All right, let's roll on to the final spot on the board now. And Luce says best bet for me is the over 163.5 in the Valkyries Lynx game. Y'all take a look. Absolutely, Luce. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let's get this here. We only have 2 games left in MLB before we get into the National Hockey League, which rolls into the CFL. I doubled up on game 1 in the CFL, and then that takes us into the 2 Commissioner Cup games in the WNBA. So let's continue to roll on. Second to last game here on the card, Pirates Astros, Daikin Park in Houston, Texas. These guys have, in this one, these teams have been just ripping the leather off the ball. And it's, the Pirates have been raking. The Astros are beginning to rake. Look at those Pirates numbers. I mean, their numbers against righties are just climbing. 260, 769 OPS. Astros versus righties, 213, 635 OPS. But even the Astros are getting a little bit better. I wanted to bet against the offense today. And the market kind of put me in that mood. This opened up at 9. It moved to 8.5. It's slightly juiced to the under. Bullpens are a huge problem, especially in this series. But of late, the Astros bullpen's been much better. 3.51 ERA, 1.17 whip. Pirates bullpen's been worse of late. 4.61 ERA, 1.38 whip over the last 30 days. And then we have a move to the under, a half-run move to the under. And then when we get to the money line here in this one, we've had a move to the Astros, 7-cent move to Highway Tang. So, and Robert Franklin also on A's first 5 money line. I get it, but I don't know how that market doesn't scare the shit out of you, Robert. It scares me horribly. If you look at the statistical profile of these 2 pitchers, how the hell, why would they be giving us such a big dog price on the A's? It's back here, though. Jared Jones had the UCL surgery last May, and he looked very good in 5 rehab starts, and then he was immediately priced like skeins. He didn't pitch very well. 5 earned runs over 4 1/3 at home. Now he heads out on the road. And I think this is a great bounce back opportunity for him. Then we have Kaiwei Tang. I told you guys about Tang and Amai, a month ago that we could just start betting them and we'll be ahead of the curve. We'll be ahead of the market. And that has, I've said a lot of things wrong. That has turned out to be very right. Last start, though, wasn't Kaiwei Tang's best, but, it was versus the Brewers, and they just keep coming at you. They just keep coming at you. So I did put my money where my mouth was, but I wanted unders, and I only bet the first 3 under 2.5. We just talked about what the number was in the Saucony Rodon first 3 under 2.5. That's 5 cents more expensive for the full game under. We talked about the Giolito Wheeler under. That's also 5 cents more expensive than this one. This is a pick'em at 8.5. And I got to pick them at the 2.5. Now, pick'ems are more expensive on the first 3 line, way more expensive, especially at 365. Come on. Okay, no, this is bad. Let's move 5 cents to the over. 5 cents to the over. This makes me nervous. Very, very, very nervous. I'm not adding any unders here. Big Drip says, epic collapse for the Pirates last night. I think that might carry over to today. They have to be demoralized. And Luce says, Pirates closer had his Mets jersey on as an undershirt. So I'm on the first 3 under 2.5 here. That's it for me. Let's take a look at the cash flow. We know this line's moved 7 cents towards the Astros. Let's take a look at the cash flow, see if that takes us toward any situation. And we have, by the way, we don't have the information on the total in that A's Cubs game. We know 58% of the tickets on the Cubs, 53% cash on the A's. 72% of the tickets, 79% of cash on the Astros, line moving towards them slightly. 54% of tickets on the under, 59% cash on the under. The full game under is moving towards the under, but that 5 cent move to the over has made me uncomfortable. Robert says, have faith. I'm nervous, Robert. And it makes me extremely nervous. But look, I'm not buying out, so let's get it. And Big Drip James says, cash max play on the Astros money line last night. Said what a thrill it was. Tempted to go back to the Astros. Think they can touch up Jones. I think Jones is going to have a start here, but their offense is starting to click. Let's talk about the final game on the board here. Dodgers Diamondbacks. We have Robleski going up against Ryan Nelson, and I wanted the full game under 9.5 last night, and I wanted the first 300, but I was afraid to press the button. It's very difficult to press the button with these 2 offenses, man. The Dodgers are righties, now number 1 in MLB over the last 30 days, 253, 798 OPS, back where they usually reside atop the list. Diamondbacks are destroying lefties, 274, 798 OPS. Both bullpens have been spectacular over the last 30 days, not in the series, but over the last 30 days. Ronnie Lofton's on Dodgers first 5 -115 says, my Diamondbacks have had like 1 good inning in the last 6 games. Wow, Ronnie. Well, I like Robleski a lot. I've been telling you guys. Now, Mark Stosowski is waiting for regression from Stosowski, but I think he's the real deal. And on the other hand, Ryan Nelson is a pitcher that I believe in enormously. He was very good to me last year, and he's had a tough start to the year. 4.82 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, which is hopeful, but a 5.03 xERA. And he's coming off a tough start at the Mariners, and he had seemingly brought it together before that, but then falling off. The bullpens for the Dodgers, which have been so strong this month, they were the best bullpen in Major League Baseball before the last 10 games, in the last 30 days. They've fallen off, and those numbers indicate that. And the Diamondbacks bullpen just continues to improve, something we talked about a lot. So let's take a look at this line history. We've had a move towards the Arizona Diamondbacks from plus 128 to plus 121. And then from a total perspective, it's gone from 9.5 to 9. 9.5 to 9. So let's take a look at the cash flow too. If they could show me all the money on the over, we're not even getting any information on the over. 59% of the ticket, 62% cash on the Dodgers. I'm just hesitant here. Let's take a look at these bullpen usage, and then we can move on past this. Let's get rid of Paredes here. We don't need him up anymore. All right, bullpen usage here. Let's start with the Dodgers. The Dodgers don't have anybody on back-to-backs, and they only used Hernandez and Dreyer yesterday, so that's not a bad spot. And the Diamondbacks didn't use anybody on back-to-backs either, but Fott, who's used rarely, Ryan Thompson and Clark, but Loaizaga, Murillo, Sewald, Ginkel, and Garcia all available. Actually, Loaizaga might not be because he did throw 5 pitches yesterday, so he went back-to-back. Huh. Big Drip says Nelson, poor numbers. Diamondback smashing lefties, good bullpen, maybe first 5 over. I think Ryan Nelson will get himself together. This probably isn't the opportunity for him to do it, but his last home start, he allowed 1 earned run over 8 innings. The home start before that, he allowed 3 earned runs over 7 innings. The home start before that, he allowed 1 earned run over 6 2/3. The home start before that, 1 earned run over 5 2/3. So, yeah, you know what? The first 3 unders are... Let's see the price. Let's take a look at the price here. Let's see the price. Oh, Matty Ice asking if I smell that. I could suspend my disbelief and smell taint if you tell me to. I want to smell taint. I do. Let's just take a look here. The first 3 under. A sick way. I'll be on the airplane for this game. Always fun to have airplane action, but these first 3 total is a 2.5 plus 100 to the under. And the taint play today is the LA Dodgers Arizona under 9. All right, there we go. I think that's enough for me to pull the trigger. The taint play of the day is in. Taint. Taint play of the day is the under 9 in Dodgers. Diamondbacks. Look, I don't get a chance to run with taint enough. I'm going to get a chance tonight. Be drinking on the airplane screaming taint. It's a good way to get kicked off an airplane. If you read that article tomorrow, the plane redirected to Winnipeg because somebody was yelling taint top of his lungs. That would be my flight. I'm in. I'm going to join you. All right, let's do a review of all action here. Let's review all action. I came in here with 7 bets because I didn't add any this morning. Phillies first 5 minus a half, minus 135. That's minus 158 right now, Penny. Phillies minus 1 at minus 126. Yankees first 5 minus a half and minus 120. Did we look at the price difference for that Yankees first 5 full game? I would like to know that right now. So minus 154 full game, minus 159 first 5. And the first 5 minus half is only minus 12. That makes me minus 112. Makes me nervous. Brewers -1 to -133. Pittsburgh, Houston, first 3 under 2.5, -120. Braves -1 to -133. A's first 5 plus 100. Oh, God, that makes me sick saying that out loud. Absolutely sick. Ugh. What a terrible. So I'm not moving on the under. I'm not moving on that Orioles Red Sox game. Then I have interest in the unders in Yankee Stadium. So I'm going to study that a little bit more. I'm not adding to the Brewers. The Braves first 5 -1/2 is going to be expensive, and I'm interested in it. I'm leaving off the Royals Reds game. God, I keep saying Royals Twins game. The A's I would love to have bet out of that. And then the unders. I'm not going to add the under in Pittsburgh, Houston. Just that first 3 unders fine. And then I think I move on these unders in LA, Arizona. And there it is. There it is. Our guy Lucas Ryan says positive updates today, gents. Hoping Dad gets out of the hospital by this weekend. Oh, that is great, great news. Let's get him home. Get him home with family. Get him out of the hospital. That is great, great, great news. I'm very pleased to hear that, my friend. That's wonderful. That's important. And now the onus is on really soaking up every moment you can. And that's easy. That's the easy part. So now really cherishing the moment and you know, if he loves baseball or whatever sport he is, you watch those games with him and take it from there. That's wonderful, wonderful news, man. Wonderful news. And James saying Diamondbacks seem to lose to Dodgers by 1 run a lot. Not sure if that's random variance or if something's to it. It says 5 last 10 head-to-head. Diamondbacks lost to Dodgers by 1. And Nelson's last 3 starts, Dodgers lost by 1. Wow. I'll copy and paste that and look into it further here. All right. So let's get this all set up here. I didn't copy and paste Taint, so let me do that. I mean, I will remember, but let's just copy and paste it as well. Okay, we're going to move quickly through the rest of the card. Now, not the National Hockey League here. I'm very interested to see what's going on with this one. And with the setups that we had from last night, I can basically just kind of speak from the heart for these games that are left for us. And Nasty Nate in the house says Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, money line parlay for Mr. Nasty Nate. Okay, let's get into the National Hockey League. Vegas Golden Knights versus Carolina Hurricanes. Let's also shout out you guys that were on Vegas Knights. I believe it's, like Chris Warren. I think Chris Warren, Von Polo, the Goracle, and then Just My 2 Cents. You guys were absolutely right, and I was very wrong. And I would prefer being wrong and my friends be right in a situation that doesn't cost me a lot of money. There's our guy Robert Cherry in the house. Yes, you did. Nick's money line, man. And you catch the under. Oh, the Taint here. Yeah, Billy. Fully blown. But yes, it's the under 9, Nate. It's the under 9 here. Let me see if I can. Here we go. I'll pop it in the chat one more time for everybody because Taint is in and Taint is must-know information. I'll be screaming Taint, drinking on the plane. So it was costly. I also want to very quickly shout out the Pub Sports Radio NHL hockey pool because if you want excitement, it's a fun thing to follow along. I thought that Nuke had an insurmountable lead, and there's a huge amount of money up for grabs. There's the first off 65% of 2.4K goes to the winner, and then 35% of the 2.4K goes to second place. But then we have the salty bonus brought to us from Harbor Acres Cottages. The salty bonus is 500 American added to the winner. So it's a big, big deal. So we'll get I think that we need the update this morning, which we will get. Let me just see if that has been updated here very quickly. And playoffs. Yeah, so we need the update from game 1. So hopefully we get that so we can talk about it on the night show. But Peter Loshek has 5 extra players and he's 20 points back. And that's going to be extremely exciting. Shout out to Salty Pete and Gorky, 3rd and 4th. Rushia, 5th. Kristen Hess, 6th. TJ tied with Big Show, 7th. Slatsy, 9th. And Johnny Yim, 10th. Jim Dewiger, 11th. So shout out to all of you guys. And thank you for taking part in the Pub Sports Radio NHL hockey pool. It's going to be extremely extremely exciting. Thank you, Kelly. You know what's going to happen. I've been talking with Mike Richards about getting out to Calgary as well. And Lucas Ryan says, my girlfriend one time heard me in the office saying, sweet, sweet taint. And Newberger says, Pete is tracking me down slowly. We will be watching. Dougie Wise says 1,800 to the winner. Very nice. Well, it'll be more than that, right? Because 65% of 2.4 and then add $500 to it. So it'll be slightly more than that. But yeah, it's going to be nice. It's a big score. Okay, so let's talk about the National Hockey League. So obviously the Knights' veteran leadership, their ability to handle these multi-goal deficits is impressive. But both Carter Hart and Freddie Anderson looked vulnerable. Now, they both have been so good through the playoffs, but they both looked vulnerable. And I still haven't moved on the Carolina Hurricanes here. Is that our guy, the Sweaty Butcher, in the house? I love it. And Luchase also said, yelled, taint me. Taint me, taint me. Taint me is good. I've never yelled taint me. I'm going to add that to the lexicon there. Taint me. I like adding the me to that. Justin McKelvey is on the Hurricanes. Team total over 3.5 at plus 110 here. And this line is continuing to slightly move towards the Hurricanes. Last night it had moved to minus 157 from minus 155. Now it's minus 160. So the minus one is a plus 100 situation. From a total standpoint here, we have a 6 at minus 120. Well, I would like to go back to the well. I would like to take the Canes. I'm not going to take the Canes to win game 2 in the series, although that line wasn't available for us. And I wonder if it is now. I think that would be very, very interesting if what that number would be, because we know that the Canes to win the series is at plus 130. It was at plus 130 before. Now let's see. No, are they not offering it? They aren't. They're offering a series handicap. But they're not offering the. Here, come on, they got to be. Wow, they're not. Isn't that wild? They're not offering the game and series double. Why would that be? The Hurricanes plus 1.5 is minus 145. I don't think that's worth it. Billy Friedrich says Cane's not making any line changes, which I strongly disagree with. So let's talk about the issue here. The issue is the depth of the Golden Knights was on display compared to the Hurricanes' depth. And then we also had the Hurricanes' defense looking very questionable. And Braden McNabb stepping up with 3 assists. Howden now leads the postseason with 11 goals. And so, when your leading goal scorer is not part of that, the top offensive talent, with Eichel and Marner and Stone, it really helps the depth. Nikolai Ehlers is rolling. Jordan Stahl, Ghost, both played very, very well. I expect Carolina's defense to step up, but we know that Brinda Moore said after the game, your best guys have to get on the score sheet. That's going to have to happen if we want to get to where we want to be. And they're talking about Svechnikov and Aho, who both took only 1 shot on goal. That's not enough. And then we have this power play that's 7 for 58 in the playoffs. It was the 4th-ranked power play in the NHL regular season at 24.9%. I mean, Logan Stankoven leads the Hurricanes with 2 power play goals. Svechnikov had 12 during the regular season, and he's got to step up. I've been very hesitant to press the button on the Hurricanes here. So let's take a look and see what the line history is. Excuse me, the cash flow is. And it's 66% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Carolina Hurricanes. 71% of tickets on the over and 84% of cash on the over. Now, we had a 5.5 in game 1. Now we have a 6.5. When we look at what Circa's done with this money line, they opened this up to minus 160. And now they got it up to minus 165. And now we're at minus 163. So they moved it slightly. It just seems very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Billy Friedrich said, and Seth Jarvis. Yeah, the whole first line is a problem. Says he had a torn labrum at the end of last season, decided not to get surgery. He does not look right. And Coin saying Vegas 24-1 under Tortorella, 19 wins and 20. I have 19 and 24, but maybe that. But yeah, and Jose Perez on the over first period. It's just been cashing. We know that Bussy will be in net in game 3 in Vegas if they lose this one. And But it just seems so expensive. And I tell you guys, I want things to be expensive, right? But do you want to catch a falling knife with this kind of vig? I mean, I've talked it out with you guys thinking that this would lead me towards being on the Hurricanes -1 and the Knights team total under 2.5. It is 10 cents more expensive, the team total under 2.5. Let's just see if that has changed here, because it was this at 365. We got that team total under 2.5 in game 1 at -105. And then in game 2, I saw it at -115. The first 3 under 2.5 right now is -115. Jacqueline, is wonderful to see you. Billy Friedrich says Howden for the Conn Smythe at plus 1,800. Wow, that's incredible that the leading goal scorer of the playoffs is at that number. Okay. I should get there, man. I should get there. But I'm still not there. And this, usually after the breakdown, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I expect to move on the Hurricanes -1 in Vegas, team total under 2.5. I expect to move on this. And then I will put it out on X and pop it in the Discord. Let's roll on. Let's roll on to the CFL here. Montreal Alouettes, Hamilton Tiger Cats. We've had back-to-back very strong years. The best 2 years of my career. The last 2 years in CFL. And I want to keep it. In 2024, I went 60-49. I was up 11.2 units with ROI plus 10.28%, average line -102. And I thought that was, I felt during the season that I was crushing. And then when I looked at the end of the year, I'm only up 11.2 units. And then last year was even better, 74-53 plus 58.3%, plus 14.81 units, ROI plus 11.66%. Now, in a 9-team league, with 1 game a week, it's much easier. But this is the first time ever that I've done a double-digit ROI in back-to-back years in the sport. And I want to do that again. We have the Alouettes Hamilton Tiger Cats to get things started. It's beautiful weather in Hamilton tonight, 79 Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 10-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into the line history here, and then I will just quickly discuss exactly how I'm attacking it. Right now, we've had no movement on this line. It's been wild, and it's been out for a while. Sitting here at -130. It did open up -135, but everybody's on Hamilton. It's only moved 5 cents away from Montreal. And then the first half, sorry, let me move back to Moneyline. There's not all books give out first halves and first quarters. 365 does. So I'm on the first half of -125. When we get to the total here in this one, we have a 51, a very high total for a first game of the season. Very high, extremely high. It doesn't quite make sense. The gamma ray play of the day from the Nuke Worker is the Alouettes -1.5 at -115. And I moved on the first half and full game money line. So here's the story. Bo Levi Mitchell is unbelievable last year. Blows our mind. It doesn't win most outstanding player in the league. That went to our quarterback over in Van City, but he was spectacular. Led the CFL in passing yards and touchdowns. Now, he lowered his interceptions slightly, but he is a problem in that regard. His wide receiving group is phenomenal. Lawler, Gittins Jr., Weefall. And Hamilton averaged 28.5 points per game last year. They were very good offensively. But everybody, if you read, so I read 2 articles that are both on Hamilton, and I told you guys the CFL experts, 4 of the 5 are on Hamilton. They're all talking about, first off, revenge. Montreal went into Hamilton and beat them in the Eastern Final 1916. In that game, in the fourth quarter, Davis Alexander, the quarterback for the Alouettes, arguably the best quarterback in the CFL, he tore his hamstring again. Wow, look at that, Matty Ice. It says he's got a big boy bet tailing the Alouettes full game. Okay, that makes me nervous, man. It says if it hits, he'll donate $100 to someone in the chat of our choosing. Just ask everyone to hit the like button. Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible, Matty Ice. I'll pop that up here. Here we go. Pop that up here. And that's wonderful, Matty Ice. You're a great friend. That's very, very cool. So a little more on the line here. Matty Ice says, Slatzy says, Calvillo running the offense for the Owls, Ticats, missing prize linebacker Winton McManus, healthy Alexander will move the ball in Ticats. I've been an enormous Calvillo fan, Hall of Famer. I know a lot of the Alouettes think of him as the Alouette quarterback, but I don't. I think of him a BC Lion quarterback, And it's about time that Moss let Calvillo. I mean, can you imagine what a dream it would be to be a quarterback on the Alouettes? Your head coach is Jason Moss. You have two Hall of Fame quarterbacks as your head coach and offensive coordinator. You're going to succeed. But this is it for me. Everybody starts immediately talking about the revenge. Do you think the Alouettes are happy with what happened last year? Do you think this offseason was a comfortable offseason? No, they were livid. They were angry. Of course they beat the Ticats. They're the class of the league. Now, Dequoy retiring in February was a shock. One of the things about this roster that the Alouettes have always taken advantage of is using Canadian players in premium positions. You're only allowed X amount of international players. And when you have Dequoy and you got Phil Pott, and you got, high impact Canadians in premium positions, it does really help your team a ton. And, they lost some key members and Wynn and Oak and then Sankey and all of that. So I will tell you, Slatsy, no, I'm not going to, because I would have him on the Alouettes and the Lions, and 300 and 375 is just not the right risk reward. So no, I will wait though. I may have a future in the WNBA here in a second, which we'll talk about. But do you, Slatsy? I just need a little bit more of a risk reward here. I know it's a 9-team league and you're not always going to get it, but here, this is how I see it. When Davis Alexander started, he only made 7 starts during the regular season. I don't know why these articles aren't talking about this. This Alouettes team averaged 34 points per game. But everybody talking about, this Ticats offense. I was astonished to see all the experts on the Ticats. The Alouettes are going to go into Hamilton and beat them tonight. Because that's what the Alouettes do. They're by far the best team in the Eastern Conference. And they're clearly the best team in the CFL. To me. And to the market. But everybody's going to weave this story, the same-ass story that the Ticats at home, revenge, blah, blah, blah. So, there we go. But you're right, the Goracle is on the Ticats. So, as I said, the 2 articles I read are both on the Ticats. The CFL experts are all on the Ticats, 4 out of 5 on the Ticats, and the Goracle's on the Ticats. So, if you are on the Hamilton Ticats, you are in a good spot. Yes, Hamilton is a good team, no doubt about it, Goracle. 11-7 last year. Now, they're a good team, but they were 5-4 at Hamilton Stadium. That's not what good teams do. But I don't know who Bomano has, Billy. I don't know. And Slatsy says, I worry about Alexander's hamstring for a future, 1 hit away from Dustin Crum. Look, we wanted Dustin Crum. I think Dustin Crum is arguably the best backup quarterback in the league. So it'll be fun. It'll be very, very fun tomorrow night. And we're going up against all the experts and all the articles and the Goracle, and we're going up against everybody in this one. And now we play. Goracle saying that Montreal losing Mac is big. Yeah, there are some losses here that are going to hurt them defensively. But, I mean, as much as I think Machocha was a snake the way he came in and took over the Alouettes, who can call out what he's done with the player roster management? Okay, Matty Ice, I will take a look, my friend. Respect. Okay, so I am on the Alouettes first half money line, full game money line, and we're going up against the experts. We move on to the WNBA. Our next spot on the board, we have Atlanta Dream, Indiana Fever. Now, I did end up losing the Mercury last night, so we're not 20-10 on the year. We're 19-11, unfortunately. And I would like to make a move. DC Capper play today is the New York Yankees. You're in good company, DC. Go get that money, man. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We've had, the Fever are back to favorites again. Wow. Because I told you that it didn't concern me that they had gone to a pick 'em or to a slight dog at all. I want to back the Fever off of back-to-back losses. I try very hard not to back the Fever, honestly, in most situations. I see them as being a public team, but it's clear that Atlanta, that Atlanta has clearly captured the imagination of fans and backers, and maybe it's Me Bounds who's done it, but she is running the boards, man. She's running the glass shop. Let's take a look, see if we can get some cash flow information on this. I would love to see here if we could. Let's get out of this and get out of this. Okay, so can we get any cash flow? No, we can't. We can't. But I think this is a really nice spot for Indiana to bounce back. 2 losses. They got to be champing. Atlanta is taking out everybody except for the Lynx. We were on the Lynx in that game. Atlanta's just running shop and beating teams by margin. And I want to go up against them. I want to go up against them. We have the Fever coming off back-to-back losses. The last one was ugly. They need to step up. They need to step up here. They need to play better right now. And I think that they can do that. Wow, coin saying Green Bay Inks Watson to 4-year, 110 milli. Goracle's action here. No, I have nothing, Rem. I have nothing. With the 20 game season, just how many with the 22-week season? I would like to have futures on the Lions and the Alouettes. I just don't see a risk reward. Goracle's action is in as well. Padres money line, Braves Cubs money line, and the Dodgers on the run line, and he's also on the Tiger Cats plus 2.5 for the great Goracle. And Billy Freeman says terrible deal for the Packers. Watson cannot stay healthy. So I want the Fever. And now that they're not, I told you guys that I expected to be here and they'd be a plus 1.5 and they'd go from favorite to dog and we'd still move on them. That hasn't happened. And that's probably a sign of strength. Let's talk about the second spot on the board today. This is the one I want to talk about the most. Now, Lou Chase Fox has given us his best bet of the day. It's the over 163.5 in Valkyrie's Lynx. Valkyrie 6-3, 2-1 on the road. Lynx 7-2, 2-2 at home. Red Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Look, I am close, even though I'm very close to betting against the Lynx. I'm very close to moving on the future for the Lynx to win the chip at plus 550. Now, again, that kind of a future, you're hoping that Nafisa comes back from injury and is healthy. And I think that the fact that the Lynx are playing so well that they can give Fee more time to come back, I think that's important. Here we have the Valkyrie. The only way that this would be more perfect, I think, there are some problems because the Valkyries were at home for a long time. But the Lynx have been annihilating their opposition, destroying their opposition. I mean, every single game is a double-digit victory over the last 5. They played the Sky twice. Sky are trash. They beat up on the Tempo at home. The Tempo were in a tough spot after beating the Sparks and flying in from LA. They're coming off of a 34-point victory. And this line is set up. For cappers to back the Lynx. Like it's just at such a low number. Now this line's moving towards the Lynx, but it didn't at first. At first, this went to 2. Can you imagine with the way the Lynx have been destroying their opposition that this would go from 3 to 2? So there's no need to rush and bet this. In fact, this is now going to come into the range of where I would want the full game because at first I just really wanted the first quarter. I think the first quarter after Minnesota dominating their opposition. Yes, the Valks are a good basketball team, but they still have that expansion stink on them. And how could the Lynx not feel incredible about themselves? They haven't faced Golden State this year. And this is the beginning of a 3-game homestand. They got Seattle and Dallas next. So finals last 44 games are 30-13-1 towards the under. Wow. So I want the Valks early. I want the Valks first quarter after the Lynx win by 34 and dominate their opposition. The question is, do I also want... it doesn't smell like taint, Billy. Doesn't smell like taint, man. It smells like Alexander Deggs. Valkyrie's Lynx. I want Valkyrie's first quarter, and do I want more than that? I mean, what if this gets to a 4? That full game would be very appealing. So I'm going to make these moves now. So Indiana Fever full game. I guess I prefer the money line at this point. And then Valk's first quarter. And the question is, do I want to add 4th and 1 entertainment? Perfect timing. Reese double-double. Howard over 27.5 PRA. Boston over 7.5 rebounds. Miles over 25.5 PRA. And then Wemby double. And Coin also gave us this note. Said outright winners in finals last 11 years are now 63-3-3 against spread after last night. Insane. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste 4th and 1 entertainment. That is our show for today. Let's go out there and get that papier, man. Let's go get that cash. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Let's review the specialty plays of the day. Gorky. Oh, that was early this morning. Okay, that was yesterday, early this morning, the tennis action. Ron Crawford, shotgun play of the day, Yankees -1. Billy Friedrich, pig milk play of the day, Yankees and Braves run line parlay at +350. Pig milk play of the day number 2, Vegas puck line and Barbashev 1 point. That parlay's at +165. The Nuke Worker Gamma Ray play of the day is the Alouettes -1.5, -115. Justin McKelvey stacks play of the day is Harper over 1.5 bases at +123. And number 2, Fever over 87.5 team total at -110. You know what? If I was to dive deeper into the thought process behind his play of the day number 2 is that he doesn't want to fade his dream. And that's the way to do it without fading his Atlanta dream because he thinks Indiana's dangerous. Now, I may be connecting dots that I probably shouldn't connect, but Curtis Berry is on the A's money line. 4.62 for life is also on the A's. Dougie Wise, free bands, Phillies -1. Just my 2 cents, Astros +136. Slatsy is on the Owls -125. Tycat and the over 50.5 in this game, and Stamps +1.5. Flank stake play today is the Red Sox on the run line. Land of the Tree, Brewers money line, and Phillies money line. Just my 2 cents play of the day is the Brewers Braves together at +127. And the taint play of the day is Dodgers Arizona Diamondbacks under 9. Thank you guys for rocking with us. I will be here this tonight. I might have to make the show a little bit tighter. I got to run to the airport as soon as the show's over. I'll have all my bags packed, literally run out of the door as soon as the show's over. Take the red eye while screaming taint on the plane, and then I will be back if I don't get kicked off and we are redirected. I will be back in my studio in the morning, tired. And if I had a winning night, pumped up. If I didn't, I'll be, whining. Thank you guys so much. Billy, Friedrich, Lucas, Ryan, Lucas, wonderful news about your dad. The Nuke Worker, Kelly McInnes, Coin, 4th and 1, True Allah Entertainment, DC Capper, The Goracle, Rem Most. Yes, Rem Most. No future in CFL, but don't worry. They'll come. I'm still really angry that I lost with the Alouettes last year. Timing it almost perfectly. Imagine getting the Alouettes at +575, but it's that fucking hamstring. Jose Perez, thank you. Slatsy, great to have you back in business. And don't forget, Matty Ice says, if the Alouettes win, we are donating 100 to someone in the chat. $100 for tomorrow. Ooh-wee. Jacqueline, wonderful to see you. San Francisco 49er. Thank you for rocking with us. Lou Chase Fox, Sweaty Butcher. Thank you guys, man. The Daily Sesh popping off here shortly. And shout out to our guys, man. Dutch Boy Fresh, Dabby Cab, and Chappie Funkadelic. Let's get this money, man. On behalf of all of us, Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for your support. It's winning time. Let's go get this money. Leche los bookmakers.
It's easier to sleep in the black when you're losing your ass and feeling so. You know what to do. Tune in to Pub Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. and keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Debbie and the fam, Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.